Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Division Z podcast. My name is Jason.
And I am K Cosmic.
My friend, we got some stuff to talk about. Obviously, weekend 2 of the Modern Warfare 2 beta. That is over by the time this episode of the podcast goes live. And then before we get into all of those topics, actually, we talk about Call of Duty, talking about all the stuff that's happening in the community with Modern Warfare 2. Before we get into all of that, you, my friend, went ahead and went to a gaming convention.
I did, yes.
You went to EGX, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the, I guess, UK equivalent to E3?
I think so. I'm not like 100%, but
okay.
It's your typical gaming event, right? And this is the first time I've been to a gaming event.
Nice.
Where they have like exclusive games that aren't out yet and all that stuff, and a bunch of like, stalls and panels and things like that as well. So you got all your small indie games and stuff, which was probably my favorite part about being there. Like playing a lot of the smaller indie games and actually talking to devs, and that was quite cool. I mean, in terms of like takeaway games, Sonic Frontiers was there. I played that a little, really fun. So that was cool to play. I think because there was also like panels and that talking about like how to get in like the video game industry and stuff. And I didn't get super involved into that because I only had a day there with Ashley, and I wanted to like do as much as I could in terms of like the variety like in games and stuff. Like the actual like panels, like the actual shops and that they had there. So many Pokemon cards.
Oh
like,
boy.
Every second one was Pokemon cards one, and they had like a whole like range of them. Like from packs from like years ago to like current day packs, and even just seeing them, you got packs here for like £40. Like fuck. It's cool to see. Even though I didn't buy any, I bought like one pack and I got fuck all out of it. But even just like seeing like the packs there and stuff, and like actually getting to like see like all the cool like items in that. I'll show you one thing I bought. I want to go over here and grab it so we can edit this part out. Maybe
a souvenir.
Stay there.
Let's see. I see you. I see Cosmic also has his. Was that Lenovo Legion hoodie there? That's a cool looking hoodie. Let's see, what is this?
So let's see what I had to buy this. I was never going to pass on this opportunity, right?
Okay.
Before I go into it, there was multiple ones of these, and I didn't know which one to pick. There was a Snorlax one, but the environment just wasn't popping out. The Snorlax was cool, but the environment wasn't that great.
Okay.
So I got this one here.
Let's see it.
It's a Gyarados.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
They said the crystals are real. So the crystals are real. It's a nice little...
That's pretty nice. Like, that looks very, very detailed from what I can tell there. The what is that? It's supposed to be like a marshland, swampland with a Gyarados in it. Is that what that? Or like some sort of tropical island?
They had massive ones and like twice the size of this, right? But they were like triple the price. And there was what was it? There was a Gengar one I really wanted, but like I couldn't warrant the money. But I got one of them. Even seeing shit like that was really cool. And like, because people like there make them and stuff.
Yeah.
And getting to talk to them about that was quite cool as well. There was a lot of games that were a bit like,
Oh.
The thing is, the devs are there watching you play them, so it's kind of like you get like a haircut. I like it. You've had a bad haircut before, right? Where they've messed up your hair. You're not gonna tell them you've ruined my hair. Right. Like you're gonna
oh,
you're gonna say, "Oh, it was great" and stuff.
Oh no.
I mean, top of my head, and without going into too much detail, there was one game, where you're like a gold miner, right? And it could be 4 players, right? And it's kind of like capture the flag, but it was a gold nugget. So one person has to hold on to it, and you can run around and collect things and all that, and like collect points and that. And someone has to try and steal the nugget off you, and then they run around with it. And the more points you get, like because it's like capture the flag, you can throw like bottles and stuff at them and all that. And like the devs are really passionate about the game, and it was fun for what it was. But so like just so mediocre. Mediocre.
Hey, you know what?
I know it's like early development and stuff, right? There was actually one game that was really, really fun. I can't remember the name of it. I'll find it out for next episode.
Okay.
So the idea is it kind of has that like Fall Guys kind of feel to it. It's not Fall Guys, but it has that sort of feel to it.
Okay.
Where it's you and other players, right? And then there is an AI monster that will follow you and try and eat you and that, right? So there's a giant obstacle. There's an obstacle course, and you have to run around it and avoid getting captured by this big monster. But you can jump through like little holes and like you can like little shortcuts here and there. And you can pick up abilities as well. So you got your super speed, invisibility, magnets. You have things that can like stop other players from like running away, so the monster will go for them. And as time goes on, the speed of the monster increases. So by the end of it, he can like travel super fast around like the little arena, and you have to like just essentially be super good with your parkour and stuff.
So just be really the last person standing then. Yeah. Just okay.
Pretty much, right? And like that game was super fun. I can't remember the name of it, but that was like
Fall Guys 2.
Fall Guys 2.
That's what it is.
Falling again.
Yeah, Fall Guys 2. Yeah, falling for you. It's like a whole like romantic love story. Anyways, but hey man, you know what? EGX, that sounds like a fun time. Sounds like you had a great time with trying out some different games and things like that. You know, conventions always have a soft spot in my heart because, you know, you just have that atmosphere of just fans and people and developers getting together, being passionate about everything that they love.
It was nice being surrounded by people that like video games and stuff as well. The one thing I was disappointed about was, you know, I looked around the whole place, right? Where was the COD zombie panel? Where were the PCs? Where are the RTX 3090 Ti's playing Black Ops 2? I didn't see it there.
Oh man, you're telling me that there wasn't a zombies panel?
No, there wasn't a zombies panel, man. There wasn't a zombies panel. I don't know what their thought process was.
Man, we might have to fix that for next year.
I know. Next year, zombies panel. But like the people being around people and stuff that like, you know, like video games and that, super cool.
Yeah.
Just talking to people on that about it, and like it was a cool atmosphere, and like even just like kind of about that and being in London, first time in London, right?
Oh,
so
wow,
I imagine London. I don't know if you've ever been in London before, have you?
No.
I imagine it's like the UK's equivalent to New York, where the traffic is so bad, but the rest of the transport is incredible. Like going
You're probably right about that.
Like going from trains to undergrounds to like, you know, all that stuff. You can get from anywhere to anywhere, like super fast. And there's no like delay or like, you know, there's no like, it's never slow. You're going to get to your place in like 10 minutes where you're wanting to go. And the transport there is super easy as well. And I wasn't like expecting that. I was expecting to be really confused, but you couldn't really go wrong with it.
That's good. That sounds like it's good. I mean, hey, transportation in big cities like that is really important. I mean,
transit bus, am I right?
The transit bus, exactly. Did you take bus route A or bus route B to the convention?
I took bus route B because
of course you have to, right? For the memes,
yeah,
of course.
But like, I mean, as well when I was there, I did like touristy stuff. Like I went to the London Eye, which is that big thing you go on. You like the big like Ferris wheel thing. I went to that.
You got a Big Ben and London Bridge and all of that.
Well, I seen Big Ben from the Eye, and that was enough for me. I didn't really need to like go closer to it. So
okay.
It's a big clock. Very cool.
Big clock. Very coul.
We were going to go to the King's Palace, right? We were going to go there, but like we didn't have enough time, and like I didn't care too much. The only thing I was gonna do, or the thing I had said I was gonna do there, is you know how you have the Queen's Guard, and they're supposed to stay like so. You know,
you're gonna troll. You're gonna go troll the guards, weren't you?
Do a little trolling.
And then get your ass beat and thrown in jail.
Yeah, that's the thing,
dude. Those people don't fuck around though. No, like have you heard straight them up,
they're like. No touching the Queen's Guard.
Yeah, like
they've talked to our kids in that before. Like they don't give a fuck.
They don't give a shit, dude. I mean, those people. You gotta have a little bit of respect for some of those people, though. Like, I mean, the amount of discipline it must take to you have
Not
so many
laugh.
of these crazy fucking people in your face all day. You know, blink, blink. You know, I mean,
There
and
was,
not punch every single one of them in the face is like you gotta be so just.
yeah.
I mean, hey, that's discipline, that's training. You gotta have a little bit of respect for some of those
There was
people.
there was a video
Actually, a
of
lot of
one
respect.
guard that got caught off guard,
Oh
funnily enough,
no.
and he started laughing. Like some guy did something super completely
Ooh,
random, and he like chuckled.
they're not statues after all.
No, and that was funny, but like, no, we didn't go there because we didn't feel like we needed to. Um, yeah, I mean, being in London, because I'm from like a small town and stuff where like things
Mhm.
aren't like that advanced. Going there, like, I want to live in London now, 100%. Like in like
Hmm.
10 years down the line, I would love to like, okay, I'd like to have a house outside of London, so I
There
could
you
come into
go.
London when I wanted. But like, I don't know, man. Just everything about the trip was super fun, super cool. Trying to think like anything like super memorable. I mean, like again, biggest takeaway was the community in that there felt really like alive and fun and stuff. A lot of the cosplays
That's
were really
nice.
cool.
Oh yeah,
I did.
cosplay, dude. These cosplays at these conventions are insane. I mean,
There was one guy, and I didn't get a photo because he moved really fast because he was
hmm.
quite like tall. He's probably about like the height of me and like half of me, right?
Oh wow.
Um, and it's like some four-legged creature, and he had like his arms are bigger, so he was like that, like kind of like a Blight Father, but not a Blight Father. That's what he kind of looked like, but
Oh,
like
okay.
he was like all like like a bit more like demonic and stuff, right?
Hmm.
And he had a friend there who was like a guard or knight. Maybe it was like a bad guy from Elden Ring. I don't know,
Yeah,
probably, right?
I mean, I don't know, man. It sounds like you just
Yeah.
described a Blight Father to me, so I'm
Yeah,
just
well
gonna
there
say
you
he's
go. So,
cosplayed as a Blight Father.
yo, it's a
Um,
Blight Father. So
I mean,
I
hey.
wanted I wanted a photo with them, but they moved too fast. Like I
Hmm.
couldn't catch them because like they were just like
You was
so
just
I
little
yeah,
spiders
yeah,
scurrying
pretty
across
much.
the
So they seemed
floor.
the way, but that was my time at EGX in London and stuff. So overall, trip was a 8 out of 10.
Eight
I
out
would
of
definitely.
10.
I'm gonna go again next year. I'm gonna go for 2 days. I mean, I won
Cool.
this hoodie. There was like a ticket. There was like
Yeah, I was noticing that. That looks that's
yeah.
pretty cool.
So like like them like booths you go into and there's like tickets flying around and all that.
Yeah,
You have to
yeah,
try and catch as many as you can.
yeah.
I caught enough tickets and I won this. The
Ooh,
next day they were giving away a
nice.
laptop, so that kind of sucked that I wasn't there for
Ah,
that. But
shoot.
I got a hoodie. I
Could have
didn't go
gotten a
home
Lenovo Legion
empty-handed.
laptop instead.
I know that would have been cool, but I didn't get that, so it's
Hey,
fine.
the
It's
hoodie looks really nice though.
I mean, yeah, and it's not like a bad quality hoodie. It's like, it's comfy. I've been wearing it the past few days or whatever. It's a
Hey, I mean,
hoodie.
hey,
I got it.
if people didn't know that was Lenovo, people maybe think you're a Las Vegas Legion fan for the Call of Duty League, which that's something we could talk about today too. Is
Yeah.
CDL news? The Paris Legion officially has their rebrand, Las Vegas Legion.
Mm.
We knew they were going to relocate for a while now. Now they're officially, their whole rebrand and everything. They're the Las Vegas Legion now, and all that. So hey, maybe Cosmic's secretly a Legion fan. Who knows?
Yes, I
Um,
love esports. In all seriousness, I've been trying to get into like watching COD stuff for like the past like
hmm,
year. I don't know. I need to like just get in and watch it. You'll know more than me for the competitive scene and stuff. What are people thinking of like Modern Warfare 2 so far? Keeping in mind we're in beta and stuff and nothing really
mhm.
like matters, but like you watching some of the pros and that, like some of the bigger players, just seem like fuck around on the beta and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like do you know what their input is? Because obviously the general community is a bit like up and down. Like they fix so
Yeah.
many things from 2019, and then we're joking about it before. It's like the Gru meme, the photos. We have beta. We ask for feedback. We don't take feedback. We do the opposite.
Yeah.
We do
I
the opposite.
mean, from what I've seen, I mean, I from pros specifically, I haven't really seen a lot of feedback just because I've just been seeing them play the game and like, oh, look at this guy going off. Oh, look at this highlight.
Yeah.
Oh, he's looking good. Oh, this is our year. I haven't really seen a whole lot of that personally, but I mean, from what I have seen in the criticism sphere, I mean, you have people like Charlie Intel, Modern Warzone. You got all those kind of people given a lot of constructive criticism and a lot of feedback about the game. Everyone's talking about the whole dead silence thing and the red dots on the mini map,
Hmm.
the perk system. People don't really like that too much. And the funniest thing to me, right, is Infinity Ward's like, oh yeah, give us your feedback, and we'll do the best we can to do it. And then the
Yeah.
blog post that they put out was basically like, yeah, so basically no.
No.
Which, I mean, hey, I, it's kind of
Because
weird.
they kind of worded it
weird.
like, oh yeah, we feel like these changes are fundamental for our game.
Right.
Wasn't it kind of like that? Like I didn't read the
Like
full thing.
it
I've
to
seen
me it
comments
just
here and
seems
there.
like they're so
Headstrong
married to
about.
the idea that they don't want to get rid of it, which, hey, by all means, you want to try new things with the game and see how people react to it. That's cool. Try a new perk
I
system,
think
try a new little thing. But I think when
I
you have
don't.
something as vocal, the community is so vocal about something like red dots on the map, I think you just put that in because it's such a small change that it doesn't really affect the gameplay too much. And people would also actually say the same thing for having no red dots on the minimap. Well, it doesn't affect the gameplay too much. Well, at the same time,
Well,
the red
no,
dots on the minimap is like a staple of Call of Duty
it's
at
not
this
even
point.
it's not even just that. It's like it's how can I put it? Like you don't have to have a silencer now in your weapon, which is fair enough and stuff.
Mhm.
But the idea of having the mini map is that you can locate other players. You can be a key. You can use
Right,
your information for the mini map to find out where someone is, where someone's team
right,
is. And like it gives you a chance to you have an advantage over that person because they fired their weapon without a silencer. So now they're getting not punished for using their guns, but now their location's revealed and stuff.
yeah. And that
They
was the
said,
funniest thing. Yeah, they're like, oh, we don't want to punish players for
yeah,
firing their gun. It's
they
like,
don't want to punish players for firing their guns, but they want to punish players for moving about because their
yeah,
footsteps are so loud and dead
yeah,
silence is like a field upgrade, which they nerfed, and it makes a weird sound now whenever when you activate it. Other people can hear it. So people in your area, like proximity, will know if you've been using dead. Will know if you're using dead silence because
yeah,
it's like that. Q button that goes like whoop
yeah.
or whatever, And yeah, I mean, I don't. It's kind of dumb. I don't know why. Like
Really
they had to
weird.
go. Yeah, it's odd. And
Like,
again, fair enough if you want to have it
mhm.
like to see how the game plays in that. I think the middle ground is have a game mode with it and have a game mode that has standard mini map and footsteps and see what
Yeah.
one gets more playtime. Then again, I guess you can't really be splitting your player base into two
Well,
such
okay. Well, here's the thing with that though is if you have okay, they're trying to do so many different things this year though when it comes to game modes. They have the normal playlist. You have new game modes like Prisoner Rescue and Knockout. Then you have DMZ coming out alongside Warzone 2, that being a Warzone 2 game mode. Then you have
yeah.
Invasion, which is ground war, but not exactly ground war. But then you also have ground war. So I feel like they can do that. It's because it seems, and then they also have the third person mosh pit, right? So to me, if they want to make more game modes for people to play more and to experience more things, to try to keep the player retention and try to keep players playing for long periods of time, because that seems like the most important metric to Activision at this point. That seems like the most important thing to show the shareholders, as that people are playing the game for long periods of time. So if they're willing to have so many different game modes to try to incentivize that, I think it's not too far-fetched to actually propose something like that, to say, hey, just have a game mode called Classic, and in Classic it's the mini map, and then Dead Silence is a perk in this game mode. You have maybe custom classes for that particular game mode. I don't know. I don't think that's too far-fetched considering all the other changes that they've tried to implement. I think they can experiment with more things.
Yeah. Well, I think
It just doesn't
this
seem,
COD
yeah.
game is definitely like the year to make changes and like trial and error and stuff since it's going to be here for 2 years. And it's not the case that it's going to be like, I don't know, like Vanguard Zombies, for example. Some people said they tried too late, but they only had a year to develop, to actually put content out for that game. With Modern
Mm.
Warfare 2, they're going to have that 2 years of updating consistent content, consistently updating content even. So like it would make sense for more of an overhaul. I mean, for the perk, this is something I was kind of thinking about earlier on throughout the week. Is that a lot of the things they have in place here remind me of World War II before they had the overhaul.
Hmm.
A lot of like like how you had like your classes and that, and some weapons you could only use under certain
Right, I
certain
remember that.
categories or whatever and stuff, right? The things they're doing here with like the mini map and like kind of like footsteps and the perk system and all that,
Hmm.
it reminds me of that. And maybe it's more up top people that are wanting to like make these choices, and the other
Mhm.
devs don't want that as much. And maybe like halfway through the game's life cycle, we'll see an overhaul
I'm
completely, or maybe. But then again, it's like they're so headstrong about it. They're like they're not going to change it. So
here's the thing about that, man. I think when it comes to this perk system, yeah, they decrease the amount of time it takes to actually earn those perks,
yeah,
right?
which is cool.
Which, yeah, I guess that's
But
half
then
listening.
it's like, why not just give us them? Because it's not
Well,
like the perks
exactly.
are
Yeah.
super overpowered. Like what you have? You have like Ghost, don't you?
I mean, you have
You have Scat.
Ghost, you have Hardline, you have Quick Fix, you have
I
all
mean,
those perks.
who cares? Just
Well,
like
that's
give us
that's the
the
thing, and I'll tell you right now. I think the reason why they did that change is to, again, player retention, keep players playing longer. They
yeah
want to try to get players to play these games out, to try to play the
mm,
games towards all the way to the end, so that they are like, hey, look, more players are completing matches now more than ever, and it's like, well, when you put a system in the game that makes players wait
yeah
to use everything, yeah, they're going to be waiting to use their thing and they're going to be staying in the game longer, right? So to me, this all boils down to, yeah, how long can they keep the players in the game, and how long can they keep the players entertained? And that's the bottom line for them right now, because
yeah
they know with Vanguard and how Vanguard did a horrible job at retaining people because of just what happened with that game's life cycle and how just fucked that game has been. I think Activision really wants to try to squeeze as much player playtime as possible out in every individual
yeah
person, and that's kind of an artificial way of doing it. The whole perk thing and the perk packages. I don't necessarily have an idea. I don't have a problem with the idea of a package, right? This is
mm,
your hunter package. This is your sniper package, and these are perks that come with it. And then you can also make your custom perk package. Like, okay, that's cool. The whole earning them over time thing is what's weird about it. That's what I think is weird about it. But I mean, the other thing is too, right? And I've said this before on the podcast where I like the whole idea of the different receivers. I like the idea of having one weapon platform, and that weapon platform gives way to other play styles and other, ways to play the game. That's cool. I like that. My only concern is now actually seeing how you get all those receivers in action. My only concern is that players are going to be spending too much time trying to get those, right? Because
yeah
their whole thing is, right, it's almost like one step forward, two steps back, because the one step forward is, hey, you unlock an attachment, you unlock that attachment for every single gun in the game, as long as it's a base attachment, right? Some sort of base optic, base
yeah
grip, something like that. Okay, that's a step forward, cool. And then you have the step backwards where it's like, okay, now, in order for you to get the FSS Hurricane, which is the SMG variant of the M4 platform, which actually I shouldn't really call it the SMG version. It's just the AR-57. The AR-57. In order to get that, you have to go through and use the 458 SOCOM version of the M4, which is kind of weird to me. Like, you have to use a battle rifle to get an SMG. That's kind of weird. At first I was like,
yeah
okay, maybe this could work, but then seeing it in practice is like, I don't know, man. It's a little bit weird, but you can at least unlock them. And though the whole thing is, I know a lot of people don't like the FTAC Recon, which is the 458 SOCOM receiver for the M4, but if you use that thing right, that thing's a fucking monster. But to make a long story short, to make this rambling actually somewhat cohesive, is the amount of time that it actually takes to actually level these guns up to a
mm,
particular level to get the other receiver is a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be. And the way you have to do it by using a completely different weapon to get another, well, not completely different weapon, because you know what I mean, right? It's a platform, but
yeah
it plays differently. It's a little weird. It's definitely a little bit weird. But I do still like the idea of having the receivers in the game. I still do like the idea of having them in the game. That is one of the bright spots of the Modern Warfare 2. And I mean, hey, the beta definitely has its ups and downs. And if I'm being honest, I think what we have right now in the beta is pretty much going to be the majority of what we have in the game.
Yeah, I think like people like to have this idea that it's just a beta, and yeah, I mean, fair enough, right? To like actual like choices in the game, then yeah, a few things will change, but
Mm,
I bet the beta is a chance for you to experience what you're gonna be getting at launch, and I think it's gonna be pretty similar.
yeah.
I mean, look at any past game pretty much, and the only thing that really changes from a beta is maybe some of the UI stuff, like some of the HUD stuff they might change just before
Oh,
it
dude,
comes
the
out.
UI in Modern Warfare 2. Speaking of that, Jesus.
That's actually quite like yeah. I mean, the thing is, right? I think they're trying to split away from this like you know, like the Modern Warfare, Vanguard, Cold War, like menus and stuff
Yeah.
and all that. Like, and then yeah, just like it's just so confusing. Even I can't. I'm lost in it sometimes. You know, like trying to find a match and stuff. They're gonna
Mhm.
100% have to change it.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't been this bad since the World War II one, and that was awful
Oh
when
yeah,
it
World
first
War
came
Two's
out.
was
But
weird. That was weird.
yeah, but they fixed it kind of, right? But it's just there's so much shit on your screen at once, and it's like I just want to
Yeah.
play a match. How do I get into a match? And they don't have to make it
Mhm.
that complicated, you know. It could be the easiest thing in the world. And I'm sure again they said that they're going to make fixes to it and make it a bit more like user
Mm.
friendly because it just looks like I don't know. They
It's
went from
really
a
not
system.
user friendly though. I mean,
No, right now
it,
it's not. No,
you have
I
this
like
weird thing where in order to make a class, you have to go into a playlist, right? And
yeah.
so what if I
Why
don't
not have like
why
why
don't why
not
don't we
have
just
like
have the thing at the top like the normal
yeah,
fucking
like
games?
find match, create a class, kill streaks, barracks or whatever, right? And then maybe
Yeah.
something else. Like I don't know. Even
I
the
don't
settings. You know, you go into your settings to
Ah,
change.
dude, I hate that so
It's the
much.
fact you have to use like your thumbsticks, don't
The
you?
fucking
Like
drop down, dude. I hate this like modernized like not it's not I can't even call it minimalistic because it's so fucking complicated half the time. It's like you have to press this button and you gotta do that, right? I don't think it's any coincidence, by the way, that former what was it? Coders, I think, or some I forgot the actual position, but employees that worked over at Hulu that helped design the Hulu user interface are now working at Activision. Okay, I don't
which
think
is
that's any kind of fucking coincidence. That to me that just says that Call of Duty wants to really try to be a Disney Plus or a Hulu, right? Because you have this Call of Duty 2.0 thing happening where oh yeah, you're gonna have Modern Warfare 2 and then Warzone 2.0 and then all the other experiences, right? And you can kind of see that they're trying to influence this kind of base hub experience. We even saw this with Warzone 1, Vanguard, Black Ops Cold War, you know. You could transition between the games in each of the games, but you can really tell that in Modern Warfare 2, with the way the UI is, yeah, you got the message of the day, the big fucking message of the day at the top,
yeah.
by the way. That's like way too big. Then you have the playlist down there, and then below that you have the, Call of Duty hub kind of a thing where it's, oh, you want to play Modern Warfare 2? Oh, you want to play Warzone 2? And they're gonna add more things to that. And I've seen a lot of people out there in the community talk about an application similar to a Disney Plus or a Netflix where it's the Call of Duty hub. It's a launcher for Call of Duty, and you can play whatever you want from there. Which, I mean, I don't
I
think we
think
need that. I really don't think we
no.
need
I
that. It's
think
just too
I
much. It's
yeah.
just,
I think like
yeah.
sure have that like long term if you know it's the direction I'm wanting to go into like and
Mm.
it's not like we haven't really had it before with like Cold War, Vanguard, and Modern Warfare and stuff. Just make it look not ugly, like
Make it look not
that's the
ugly, and I
thing.
don't want to click my right and left
Yeah,
thumbsticks to do shit
make
like
it
that.
so
Like,
it's just seamless. It's easy to use, and it's not just so much like junk on the screen.
yeah.
I mean, I can understand maybe why they wouldn't want to go the route of like having the Modern Warfare, Warzone, Cold War, Vanguard screen, right? Because it has like the different game titles and stuff,
All right
and
next
they
to
just
each
want to
other.
make it so you flick through it, right? But look at any like console home screen, even just do what PlayStation did with their home screen. I don't know, just do something that's a bit easier. Like
Yeah. Dude,
I
even
I, I don't
like
know.
PS5, because maybe just because I'm still getting used to my new PS5. Like,
I prefer the PS4 home screen though,
yeah, no, I prefer
100%.
PS4's UI
Yeah,
too. Like, I don't know what it is. I I'm still holding down my PlayStation button to
yeah.
try to fucking close app, and it's like, oh, that's
Nah,
right, I gotta
I
do
think
this. Which I mean, hey, that
I think
it's not as bad
I
as Modern
think
Warfare 2's, but
I think like Okay, so PS4 is, I think, the best UI in terms of consoles had, and then just under that is Xbox 360, and like, maybe you know what I mean,
Dude,
and then like
360 had a goated UI.
then the PS5, and
Okay.
then the PS3, and I mean the Xbox One and Series X, the UI is a bit nicer on it now, but I miss the good old days of the Xbox One UI where it was. I don't know, because that was when like they wanted the system to be not just for gaming, they wanted it to be
Right.
like a media device where you can watch movies,
Right.
movies, 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 and videos. You know what I mean? Like they wanted to make it so it's like
Right.
not just a games console. I kind of like the old design of the Xbox One,
Mm.
because it's kind of similar to the 360s, but a bit more modernized. Um, and something else I miss as well, talking about fucking game UIs, console UIs, is that Xbox One once had a feature that would allow you to snap videos on the side. So if you wanted to like play your game, right?
Hmm.
On like one okay, right? What's a good example? Pretend this, right? Pretend that's your screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is your screen. Like from this point here to here, there'd be like a little video up here, and you could watch videos
Hmm.
as you're playing games.
Oh, that's interesting. I never knew that.
Really
Hmm.
cool, right? Sure, right now it doesn't make any. There's no point because most people have more than one monitor, or they have a phone, so it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter, right? But it was a cool feature to have, and yeah, I don't know, but no, 100%, I agree with you. PS4 UI so nice, so slick, and I honestly like in terms of like console themes, I think PS4 hits the hardest. Like, you just listen to like the theme of the PS4.
Dude, I'm gonna be real. I haven't
Don't tell me you
heard the
turned it off.
PS4 theme
Nah,
in
stop.
so long
You didn't turn it
because
off.
the theme that I've
Get the
had
Black Ops 3 one.
is the Zombies Chronicles Black Ops
Chronicles
3
one.
background, the
I
Damned in the background. I've had
Yeah.
that as my background for years.
That
So I
was
don't
so come on, right? So cool when they actually had them. Like I remember the Shadows, the Horizon Draco
Yeah,
one,
dude, the
yeah,
themes are sick.
the Zetsubo, the Golrod one, and then
Mm-hmm.
the Revelations was so cool. And then
See,
Zombies Chronicle.
we need that kind of shit back, man. Like the
That's the little
little
things.
things like that.
Yeah.
Like
Like
I
the
want to
little
see
things.
a D Machina background for my PS5. I want to see a Mauer Toten background, and we just don't get
Yeah.
that anymore.
I'm
Even Kingdom
hoping.
Hearts had
Yeah.
backgrounds. I remember for a while I was using some Kingdom Hearts backgrounds, and it was the Kingdom Hearts sound effects every time you would go to the menu, the ding 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 bing ding ding ding, and like it just the nostalgic noises
Yeah.
of Kingdom Hearts, like, oh yeah, that's
I
cool. It's little
I
things like
remember.
that.
I remember, right? This was like when like I was like either like 15 or whatever, I got a
Mm.
PS4. The reason I got a PS4 was to play the best game of all time, Until Dawn, right? One of my
There you
favorite
go.
games. I talked about it multiple times, right? And it came with this background screen, right, for your PS4. I would
Hmm.
put it on, and after 10 minutes, I'd have to change it because it creeped me out so much. Like
Wow.
it was like an hourglass, if I remember correctly. It was like an hourglass, but it was like a skull.
Hmm.
And it just had really like eerie music and stuff. But I'm like, no, not for me. I have to change it and stuff. Like no, I miss like when that was a thing, and even for Vanguard Zombies could have had a really cool one, I imagine.
Man,
Like
I just kind of miss the time where things were a little bit more
nice.
nice. Like
And that's like
things had
see,
character, like,
yeah. That's like the
and not to
perfect
sound
word.
nihilistic, but like things had meaning.
Yeah.
Like,
Life had
I'm being
meaning.
like,
These
seriously
video
though.
games had more meaning.
I'm serious though. I mean, you
My
have so many of these
PS4,
like
my PS4 wallpaper had meaning.
No, I mean, I mean, think about it, man. I mean, you got
Nah,
so
it's
many of
true.
these, these companies nowadays with gaming. There's just no meaning behind any of these anymore.
Yeah,
Battlefield, Halo. I mean, these companies have like no meaning behind them
I
anymore.
think, I think
Activision
like,
is getting to that point more and more every single day.
yeah,
And I mean, a lot of us out there in the community, and tell me when I'm telling a lie here, we're all on copium in our own little way. I mean, I think we're at this point where it's like we know it's gonna get more corporate. We know it's gonna get more
Yeah.
just it's gonna get more that Disney Plus corporate.
Which
Everything is just such
which
a
yeah.
like weird kind of vibe,
But
and like we're just holding on to like, well, maybe it can get better, maybe it can get better. It can though. Again, that might be the copium talking, but it can if these people decide to actually do something about it and listen to the fan base and listen to the community. But like I don't know, man. I mean, Black Ops Cold War was definitely a light in the dark when it comes to zombies, and it comes to that game. That
I
game had a lot of good
yeah.
content, but
I
I
think
mean,
like
the past year of Vanguard really got me down a little bit, man.
I think like in gaming in general, right? I think devs always want to make like the best product possible because
Right,
they know
developers,
if the game's
yes,
if they know if the game's shit, people are gonna let them know about it. You know what I mean?
of
Like
course.
a Battlefield 2042, right? I mean that game's kind of coming around now, but it's too late because Modern Warfare 2 is coming out, and the beta has more to offer than the full game of
Yeah,
Battlefield 2042 for the most part. But like I feel like the main thing with gaming at the moment is that a lot of the like charm and nice like characteristics and all that is kind of like not gone, but it's not as there as it was before. Like I don't know,
because
gaming
it
back in the
feels
day,
it
and it
feels
could
so
be
corporate
nostalgia.
now, you
Yeah,
know?
it could be nostalgia talking, but it used to be this wholesome thing that you just do, right? Small wholesome, Minecraft farming, for example, right? Going on Minecraft and just playing with your friends and that, and like when it wasn't such like a mainstream. I'm saying that right. Video games have like been mainstream since like the first
Of
video game,
course.
right? Because they've been so popular and stuff. But like you say, things. I think things have just been so like again like corporate and that. And I think there's one game we can blame for starting this whole thing off. Fortnite. Fortnite. And I think is right. Again, there's a lot for like the gaming community and stuff, and we got a lot of stuff out of it. Free to play, free content, blah 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 blah. But I don't know. I feel like ever since Fortnite came out, it's just been like, even though there's like shit games before that, some the shit games had character still.
Well, the thing with that is, man, I think when everyone started to try to copy the Fortnite model, you know, it, because of how much that skyrocketed in popularity, and because of
Yeah.
how much that I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, video games have been turning corporate for a long time. A
Yeah,
long,
that's true.
long time before Fortnite. But I think what's interesting to mention about Fortnite is that the whole Fortnite model and the battle pass system and everything like that, I mean, that's what skyrocketed all of this exponentially. And with
Mm.
everything with
Yeah.
esports, and don't get me wrong, I'm a huge proponent of esports. I think esports is a really great thing to have. It's a multi-million billion dollar industry that it gives a lot of people a lot of chances to create entertainment and to create a different form of media that I think is
Mm.
very unique, and it could be interesting to watch. But I also have to recognize that with the way esports has just affected the average gamer, it kind of makes it so that everyone thinks they're an esports star.
Twitch
It
TV.
kind of gives all these people this attitude of like, well, if I'm not a sweaty tryhard in Call of Duty, or I'm not a sweaty tryhard in Fortnite, then I'm not going to be an esports player. Then I'm not going to be like really good at the game. That's why you have so many of these people. They make bank off of their meta videos on TikTok and Twitter and YouTube and all these platforms. And
Mm.
that's why these videos are so popular. This is the meta. This is what you have to use right now. You have to use this or you're not competitive. And everything is so it kind of plays into the corporate hands of like, hey, look, we have all these players here that want to be the best at video games. They want to do the best they can. Let's feed that a little bit. Let's feed the ego a little bit to
Yeah.
get people more dependent on the hey, look, anyone can be competitive. I mean, yeah, obviously, oh yeah, slide canceling and the movement, yeah, that's fun, guys, totally awesome. And then they'll sweep under the rug that it
Yeah.
was like an unintended feature, right?
Mm.
So you have all these people that also play right into the hands of that, which, I mean, it might sound like I'm bashing on it. I'm not actually. I'm just calling it as it is, and you make of it what you will. but it plays perfectly into the hands of how they want everything to be so corporatized and everything. So, this is our world, and you are just there for us to control you in our world. Basically, this is how you're supposed to see things. This is how you're supposed to, get everything, and this is how you're supposed to be the super competitive player, even though the majority of the people out there will probably not be competitive players.
Yeah.
And this is why it's such this weird dichotomy with Call of Duty, where you have this kind of tug of war with the developers too. The developers, they want to reach as many people as possible. So yeah, they're going to want to try to reach some of the casual players, which that's to be expected. I mean, I know it would be nice to reach a little bit more of the hardcore fan base that's been with the franchise for longer periods of time, but I think there is a middle ground to be found. But I think where this tug of war is that you have these modern games that, and now specifically talking about Call of Duty, you have these Call of Duty games that are at the same time really sweaty, and everyone's super crazy slide, jump, cancel, drop shot. They can't take the games. They can't take the game for what it is. They can't have fun with it. They've never touched grass before. That's just all they do with their life, right? And then you have the other part of the community that's like, oh, camping, and if it's just really bad play styles that are also catered to. And I see a lot of people out there being like, well, you can't have both. It can't be both for tryhards and the noobs. Absolutely it can, if you have this tug of war. I mean, you have this identity crisis with Call of Duty. What is it? Is Call of Duty the sweat fest with everybody being, oh, I'm going to be the next MLG guy? Or is it supposed to be this noob-friendly, camp-friendly introductory game for people to be like, hey, you're new to first-person shooters, play Call of Duty, It's like, what is it? Call of Duty's like, has this kind of identity crisis. And this identity crisis also plays into the hands of what's going on here, too, because now you have this, oh, this is what Call of Duty is all about. No, this is what Call of Duty is all about. And you have this distraction. You have this distraction of people not getting the point that Call of Duty is just going down. It's downtrending right now. Yes, you're going to have a lot of people, millions of people playing Call of Duty every single year. Of course. Of course you are. Call of Duty is not completely dead, but it is on a downtrend. Then you have the other people saying, well, after the Microsoft acquisition of Activision, it's all going to be fixed. It's all going to be fine. It's all going to be fixed. Call of Duty 2.0, Microsoft's going to do really, really good with it. Really, really good with it. And, it's going to be the greatest thing ever. Well, okay, let's hold our horses here for a second, because if we're already worried about this being corporatized, and we're already worried about, basically a huge chunk of the hardcore fan base and the players that have played Call of Duty for decades being alienated, and, the lowest common denominator being catered to, on both ends of the spectrum, might I add, but both lowest common denominators. Do you think that's going to get any better under Microsoft? Do you really think it's going to get any better under Microsoft? If we're going from Bobby Kotick to Bill Gates, is it going to get any better than that? And I think a lot of people don't realize that. We're going from Bobby Kotick to Bill Gates, okay? And I could say stuff. I could say stuff about this transition, right? Oh, at least Bobby Kotick's going to be gone, right? I could say so much about Bill Gates, but, we're not going to go there right now. It's one of those things where, is it really going to get much better? Is it really genuinely going to get much better? And I hope it does, because like I said earlier, we're all on copium. We are all on copium right now. And I really want it to get better, but I don't know. And it's a wait and see basis with it. I know. It's just frustrating to me. It's just really frustrating to me that we're just in this limbo phase, and we just don't know what's happening, when we really shouldn't be. We really, really shouldn't be. This should be some of the greatest years of Call of Duty. And it all just feels so haphazardly, just kind of like...
I think part of the issue as well is that Activision knows that they can just make slop and people will buy it.
Yeah.
Like, I know Vanguard sales and that were down a lot, right? And they like making money, but I think they're also like, okay, if this one fails, the next one will do good. So they don't really care. And the Modern Warfare 2 is problematic as the game seems and stuff. At least it has more time to do things right compared to that 1 year cycle that it was stuck in. But who actually knows? When the second year for Modern Warfare comes out, who knows what's actually going to happen? Because I think they're not going to release a mainline game, but they're going to release something. I don't know what. Obviously, it's not going to be Warzone 2 because that's coming out in a few months and all that. Um, but I don't know, man. A part of me fears that they're going to try and push something else on us as well. Not a
Right.
zombies game or anything, but some sort of like something that isn't Modern Warfare 2. Maybe Modern Warfare 3 Remaster, maybe. Maybe
Well, because
something like that,
here's the thing
which
with
isn't
that, man.
bad.
It's like they're gonna with Modern Warfare 2 and when Warzone 2.0, yeah, there's gonna be content pushed out, and yeah, there's gonna be events and raids also. There's another thing they're adding where it's gonna be like this Destiny style maybe raid that you can
Yeah.
do. It's like a game mode, and then like DMZ and all that. It sounds like it could be fun, but we really have to start thinking about the kind of content we're consuming here, because if we just accept anything and we just say, hey, look, this is new, hey, look, this is great and fun, and content is content, it's like that's what gives them the excuse to do that, though. Which,
Yeah,
yeah,
because
I
it's
get it,
standard.
content is content, and you know what, hey,
Well,
give
I
everything
mean,
a try, give it a try for sure. But
yeah.
but you have to like vet it. You gotta like vet that content. You gotta like, is this
A good
really
example.
is this really fun? Am I having a good time with this, or am I just playing it just because I'm bored to play something, to feel something in my brain because the dopamine is fried?
I
Ah,
think like a good example of like us getting pretty good feedback is Vanguard Zombies again. Like we made it pretty apparent what we enjoyed and what we didn't enjoy, and they completely changed their whole DLC plan to cater it. So like I mean Zombies Front, the community isn't afraid to let the devs know where they've gone wrong, right? I think the problem is sometimes they I don't know, it's the stupid opinions that get the most volume when it isn't the most important. And I don't know if that's like they're going to be the same with like Modern Warfare 2 and stuff. In terms of content they're going to give out, and like if they give out any future games uh during that like 2-year break, where it's just again like pushing out the sludge like Disney, like Disney TV show,
oh,
Marvel TV show, go, mediocre movie, TV show, go. You know what
that's
I
another
mean?
topic. That's another topic.
And
Actually, that
I
actually
can't.
perfectly correlates to what Call of Duty's doing right now. Actually, but
Yeah,
finish your point.
I was gonna say I can't wait for them to announce another 3 Star Wars movies at some point,
Oh, I'll
because I
cry.
can
I'm
see.
gonna cry,
I'll see it happening. It'll be called the prequel trilogy.
dude.
And then Darth Vader won't be voiced by Thingy anymore because he's
Well,
retired. Or
that's
he's stepping
true. I
away.
mean, hey, real quickly though, I mean, James Earl Jones, such a prolific voice actor, such a just iconic voice. I mean, Vader is probably, yeah, the most iconic voice like ever in
Yeah, no,
anything.
100%. Like everyone knows
Huge
the
hats off to
breathing.
James Earl Jones.
Yeah, like I mean, when I read that, I was like, oh, that's kind of sad. But I mean, the guy's done his time.
Yeah, but I
I
really
mean,
hate that an AI is going to replace the Vader voice
oh,
now. I hate that. Um,
oh, I didn't know that.
you have other voice actors out there like our boy Fred Tatasciore, who plays Nikolai in Call of Duty Zombies. He does a great Vader. He's actually Darth Vader in Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. I think he did a pretty good job with it. Uh, give him a chance. Give him a chance to be Darth Vader. But nope, everything's computer, everything's AI, everything has no soul,
You
and
know
you will
why?
like it.
Money,
What? But of course, no,
money.
absolutely. I mean, everything has no soul, and you will like it. And
Yeah, you will enjoy.
you
You
will
will
enjoy this
enjoy.
content because it's content, right? And you will just
Yes,
enjoy anything because we're gonna put out so much of this yeah sludge, like you're saying.
you are going to enjoy the 6 part, the 6 episode, 30-minute series that we're going to put on you, and you're going to enjoy every last second of it.
And the whole thing is right because you have so much. So you have so many people out there that have so many great memories of old. I mean, we can talk about Star Wars, Call of Duty, Marvel, whatever. You have so many of these people have so many good memories and nostalgia for old Star Wars or old Call of Duty that when you have this like dopamine drip of content, right? It's this slow drip and this, hey, remember this, and hey, look,
Yeah.
we're gonna feed you this content over these years that's going to be any kind of semblance of anything that you remember, any kind of
Mm.
and you have shows like what's out right now, Andor right now with Star
Yeah.
Wars, that I mean, I don't know, man, it didn't really look the most interesting to me, and that's coming from a Star Wars fan. I mean, I don't know, it just seems whatever. Then you have all these Marvel shows that, I mean, a lot of these Marvel shows just don't really look that appealing to me. I mean, I've never been much of a Marvel fan to begin with, so maybe that's why. But then you have, Call of
Yeah.
Duty, on the other hand, where it's very similar to the Disney Marvel Hollywood entertainment industry thing where, you know, you have these seasons, and I'm all for seasonal content. I think it could be good when applied correctly. Black Ops Cold War I thought had a good season of content because Treyarch does it the best.
Yeah.
But when you have this, when you have a game like Vanguard and you have this like slow drip of anything new, and people like try to absorb that and just try to find something good with it to try to get any kind of hit of dopamine back, because everything is so just shot from, all this content that they're consuming. Hey, content is content, just play it all.
Yeah.
And just don't even think about it, and you're just kind of going through the motions here. And because you're just so shot with everything, it's like, oh, look, a little tiny thing here that could be really good. Oh my God. It's like Vanguard right now. Vanguard has 2 more weapons that's supposed to come to the game, and Warzone 1 is supposed to have another rebirth event happening soon. And I don't know when that's going to happen, but it's not going to go over very well, because I think a lot of people are just fucking tired of it all right now. I think a lot of people are just really fucking like disinterested in the way Call of Duty is handling itself right now. I mean, yeah, you have people who enjoy the beta and enjoy the gunplay and the movements for what it is, which I do enjoy the gunplay. I think the guns sound good. I think the guns having weight to them is a good thing. The maps aren't that bad. I don't really like the museum map, but the maps aren't like that bad. It's a decent base game. It just... There's just so many things that I know are going to happen, and it's going to be more corporate, and it's going to be more, Call of Duty 2.0. While it might sound like a good thing on paper, we really have to pay attention to what's happening here too. Again, with the Microsoft I keep saying Activision, Microsoft acquisition of Activision. You just have to be careful. You just really have to be careful with who's controlling your shit. I mean, I'm going a little bit off topic here, but I think this has to be said. Really pay attention to where these connections are going. Really pay attention, because the whole thing is, right, why isn't the deal going through yet? How come it's taking so long for Microsoft to acquire it? We need to make sure that Microsoft isn't trying to get a fucking monopoly over these industries. We got to make sure that Microsoft isn't actually like controlling me. I mean, you can make the argument that Disney's already has their monopoly over the entertainment industry, and that's unfair. You got to really be careful with these connections, especially who these people are and what they have accomplished and what has happened to our society. You need to really be careful with these people too.
Yeah. I mean, with Disney, like they've been trying to get DC for a while now. They've been trying to buy DC, so they own like all superhero movies and stuff. And like, again, that monopoly, man. And like, I think people think as soon as like you start saying that, oh, the Microsoft deal isn't a good idea and stuff, they think you're a Sony fanboy and whatever. And I know, like,
all by design, by the way.
Yeah, but and the thing is, though, right? It's the fact that like Microsoft are like, oh yeah, Call of Duty games will be coming up for PlayStation guaranteed for the next 3 years. What happens after the 3 years?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, are you gonna stop doing it? Are you gonna make it so it costs more for other players and stuff? Like the thing about right now is that it's not owned by any studio.
Right.
It like in terms of like Microsoft or Sony, it's Activision is its own independent thing. And like it's just one of them awkward like space. It's what I don't know, man.
And
Never happened before, so you wouldn't know. I mean, Disney is a good example of like how things can be good. Like it's not like Disney have done completely awful stuff. They've done like some good products before in that, and like speaking from both like Marvel and like Star Wars perspectives, but then they've also done some of the most shit stuff as well.
Of course.
Like I mean, the last 3 Star Wars movies, I didn't watch them, but I know you didn't really take too kindly to them.
Not particularly, man. I mean, the sequels are a whole other can of worms.
A lot of the Disney Marvel shows are kind of just like that sludge. I mean, She-Hulk gets a lot of hate. Whether like I don't know. I haven't watched it because I'm kind of after Endgame. That was kind of me finished with Marvel stuff. I watched some of the TV shows, but like She-Hulk's one of the more popular ones to hate on, and some people think it's because like it's because she's a woman or whatever, right? Which I think some people just like to hate on that, which is which isn't good. But I think it also comes down to the fact that a lot of the shows they try to push now are just sludge. And it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't have much substance to it,
That's the thing.
They make their shows and that's it.
nobody wants to just say, "Hey, look, that's a woman. Let's hate the show."
Yeah.
Nobody thinks that right away, you know?
No.
And I mean, quite honestly, man, the only people who obsess over the whole, "Oh, it's a woman," or it's a that, are the people making it. That's literally what it
Yeah.
is. And that is the truth. And you know, a lot of these people just want to see good content and they want to see good shows, and these people don't think
Yeah.
it's good content. It's, like you said, sludge to a lot of these people, and they just don't like how it's written. But then they just immediately go to, you know, pointing fingers and not taking any shred of responsibility or taking any kind of criticism for anything. And I mean, it's just ridiculous. And that's the kind of thing where, with the Infinity Ward thing, with the criticism, it's kind of like, you ask for criticism, and then you double down on the stuff that you're criticized about, which is a little bit strange. Like, why did you even ask in the first place if you weren't even going to change it in the first place? Like, I don't know if that's arrogance. I don't know if that's, like, you know, what's going on there. I do understand that, like we said earlier, the developers want to try to make the best game that they can for people, but at the same time, again, it's that tug of war between what they want to do and what Activision wants to do. And Activision's bottom line is to try to get people playing the game for as long as possible, and as many people to play the game as long as possible, keep you online, keep you doing all that for as long as you humanly can, because that's where their money is. They want to have the player retention. Hey, look, shareholders, people are playing our game more so now than ever. And we, you know, look how successful we are, because that's all they measure their metrics on, is look how many people are playing the game. They don't realize that over the last year, Activision, you know, they're not going to worry too much about the, oh, well, we lost 10 million players after Vanguard. Of course, they're not going to worry about that too much, because you already have another 90 million people playing the game. You know, so as long as they can keep that threshold, as long as they can keep that relatively stable, and it's not like they're losing 10 million every fucking month, they won't care that those players are leaving. They won't care. They'll just cater to the tryhards and the esports people that want to go out into the esports world. Which, you know, granted, there are some people out there that will make it and some people out there that won't make it, but the majority of the people will probably not make it at this point, because it's such a saturated market. And I hate to say that, but just make sure you're one of those people, one of those few people that make it on top, because it is very, very competitive. And I'm not saying that to discourage anybody. I'm saying that from a realistic standpoint, that it's very, very hard and very competitive to get in. Same thing with acting. Same thing with content creating. It's very competitive. It's very hard. It's very saturated. You have to do the best you can and make sure you get there, which, that's the whole point, right? And it plays right into their hands. It's almost like a win-lose situation, and it's frustrating to me that it's almost exploited for, you know, people are passionate about certain things, and oh, I'm passionate about esports, I want to get better at the game, but it's almost exploited just to be like, hey, look, we got you playing the game for a long period of time, and you know, look, you didn't even make a team. So I mean, it's one of those things where I might have sounded really jaded this episode. I might have sounded very nihilistic. I might have sounded really, you know, like a doomer. But at the end of the day,
what comes to mind, like,
these are the things that you have to really think about, because not everything is sunshine and rainbows. Not everything is really good right now. And, you know, we really have to think about what we're making and what we're consuming and what we're doing, and that involves Call of Duty too. So I mean, that's my piece about it. Again, inhaling some more copium. I hope that Modern Warfare 2 does improve at launch. I hope that the beta isn't, you know, what we get at launch. I hope there are some improvements and things go along. It makes me especially sad because the marketing for Modern Warfare 2 is really good too, with, you know, the behind the scenes footage. And I love that kind of shit from someone who comes from entertainment. I fucking love that kind of thing. And, you know, that's cool. I loved watching those videos. And the sound design is really good, and the things that they did tout are really well done. But then there's just so many of these other things that are like, you have all these nice things with the nice guns and the nice sounds, and all, you know, all the motion capture is really nice in this game, and then you have all this other stuff that you go, God damn, come on, like, what's happening here? Everything's so confusing. And it's all because they want to be the next Disney Plus. They want to be the next Disney. They want to be the next, everything is just super corporatized. Everything is basically copy paste. Everything is just, you have your central hub of everything that you can do all at once, and you don't have to do anything else because everything's all right there in that one place. And oh, I'm getting too deep into it now, but man, at the end of the day, before I go off the rails completely down the rabbit hole on this episode of the podcast, I don't know what's happening with Call of Duty in the future, but I hope things are good and we are going to be positive and happy, and everything is going to be totally fine, everybody.
I hope that the games are good and there isn't any bad stuff and that they listen to feedback.
There are good nuggets of it. There are good spots, but we have to really be careful what the ugly, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We have to make sure that the ugly doesn't get too ugly.
Exactly.
I don't know what just happened in this episode of the podcast. I'm gonna be honest with you. But a lot of that really needed to be said, I think. And I think a lot of people are secretly thinking what we're thinking too. I'm gonna be real.
We're kind of saying and stuff, yeah.
Like, there's no fucking way that, at this point, this is a minority. There's no fucking way. This is definitely a vocal group of people out there that want to see this significant change and are a little bit weary about this whole 2.0 thing. I think there are more people there that are a little bit concerned about it, which, things can be used for good and things can be used for bad. I mean, it all really comes down to who's at the top and who's controlling what, unfortunately. And anyways, before we wrap it up here, man, do you have any closing thoughts on whatever the hell just happened?
Just that, like, I hope Infinity Ward takes their feedback and does something with it. And yeah, I mean, again, not to be gloomy about the future and stuff. For the games coming on that, but they want that Disney Plus type of treatment, but for Call of Duty, and I don't know. It'll probably be fine. It'll probably just at the end of the day just be a UI change. But I don't know. I can see it changing the whole premise. I can see Call of Duty definitely losing a lot of its charm with it as well, because I can imagine that we won't have any more custom home screens in that. It'll just be the case that you go into your general Call of Duty, thing, and then you just choose what match you want to play, and that's it. There won't be any I don't know, personality to the games. That's my one big fear. Hopefully that's not the case, but I mean, who knows, right?
Who knows? I mean, that's the thing. It could be good or bad. We talked about a lot of the bad today, but it needs to be said. I mean, there's no point in not talking about it, because if you don't talk about it, then, I mean, what are you doing? I mean, that's the whole point of a podcast too. And also, we're drawing from real life examples too. I mean, this is, in a way, this could be a half truth for Call of Duty. This could be where it's going, and it's all up to how we tolerate this, and it's all up to how we how it all plays out as well. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching this episode of the podcast. What was your favorite part? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. As always, check out all the links down below in the description so you can stay up to date with everything that we do. And yeah, we're gonna go. I don't know what we're gonna do, to be honest. The beta's over.
Meditate for half an hour.
I'll meditate, bro. That sounds good.
Meditate.
That sounds good. I like meditation. Anyway, have a good day, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your day or night, depending on where you are in this crazy world. We'll see you guys next time for another episode of the Division Z podcast very soon. Peace out.
Bye, everyone.